Welcome to Sapphire Ridge News. Today's topic is Greenland, and we're also going to cover the Panama Canal. Greenland is the easier topic, so we will cover that first, and the Panama Canal is a more lengthy topic, so we'll cover that second. Let's give everybody a chance to pile in, and then we will see if we can get this horse out the barn. Okay, so there's been a lot of clamor about us buying Greenland. And you may wonder, why would we want it? Well, the reason we would want it is, hey, Julianne, is Greenland sits between the U.S. and the Arctic Circle. And currently, the government of Denmark owns it. And it has a key shipping channel that anybody that travels to the Arctic Circle has to go through the the canal between Greenland and Canada. Okay, so here's the issue. China and Russia are trying to claim the Arctic Circle. If we buy Greenland, that gives us the ability to keep that shipping lane open. Yeah. It's funny, Greenland is mostly ice, isn't it? But it has a lot of natural resources, and I see three options. I see we do nothing, which that's not really an option. Doing nothing is never an option. We offer to provide protection for Greenland, or we just buy it outright. Right now, protection for Greenland is provided by the country of Denmark. So if we offered protection, then we could make deals of how they would pay for the protection, which I think that would be a better deal. And also, I watched a video yesterday that said that the people, the native people in Greenland are related to the Inuits in Alaska. And that if we bought Greenland, we could allow the native people in Alaska, the Inuits, to travel between Alaska and Greenland. Right. Which Denmark, I don't think Denmark right now tries to help them cash in on their resources. They provide them protection, but I don't know that they have offered to help them cash in on their abundant resources. Now, the issue with the Panama Canal, okay, we built the Panama Canal. It was ours. Jimmy Carter stupidly gave the Panama Canal to the country of Panama. So since that happened, they have been charging us exorbitant fees to have our ships go through the Panama Canal, like $500,000 per ship. The more cargo it has on, the more they charge. And the country of Panama sold the two ports on each end to the country of China. We should not allow that when it was originally ours. That's just not right. You know, we can't allow China to spread their influence into our hemisphere because China wants to spread their view of communism all over the world. They want to take over the world. And I just don't think that we should allow that to happen because it's okay. It's like you build something and then you decide to lease it out. Okay. So we leased it out to the country of Panama. And then Carter comes along and says, well, we'll just give that to you. But there was a treaty type of deal. And the treaty said that they could charge fees, but the fees had to be fair. $500,000 per ship that we send through there is not fair. And Nicaragua is trying to build another Panama Canal that's bigger. And so I think with Trump coming into office, he can negotiate with them and tell them and tell them, hey, look, you know, you want to be bigger, we'll help you, but you have to return control to us. Which I think that's the way that's going to go down because it was ours. We built it. And then another example of a president trying to be Mr. Nice Guy and give something that we built to the country we built it in, and it stabs us in the back. At least that's the way it seems like. Yeah, there are terms to the contract. And one of the terms was that they could charge us fees, but the fees had to be reasonable. Charging $500,000 per ship to travel through only to us. You know, $500,000 per ship. We're the only one paying that high of a price. Everyone else is like under 100,000. So we're paying 5 times what everyone else is paying. And we finally have a president that says, no, sorry, you're not doing that. And yeah, it's interesting that he died today or yesterday, I think it was. I think it was yesterday. But he did, I don't want to knock Jimmy Carter too bad because his Habitat for Humanity did a lot of good. But his presidency was awful. We buy oil from other countries because Jimmy Carter decided that he didn't want us to drill our own oil. So he made up an embargo so that we would have to buy oil from Saudi Arabia in countries like that. What has come out in the past couple of months is that uh, Anwar National Refuge has 5 times the amount of oil that is in Saudi Arabia. But we have idiots like Biden that say, no, you can't drill in our land. Well, that's just dumb and stupid. We should not be buying oil from other countries when we have it here. We should be drilling our own oil first. And people forget that under Trump, gas was $1.88 or $1.89 a gallon. And it was getting ready to go down because he approved the XL pipeline, which meant we could buy oil from Canada. And then we would not be reliant on the OPEC nations. When Biden canceled the XL pipeline, within days or weeks, our gas went from $1.87 to $3, then to $4. But Biden doesn't see, hey, laugh. Biden does not see where he did anything wrong by canceling the XL pipeline, which is bizarre that he doesn't see anything wrong. And it goes to show you his diminished mental state, I would call it, that he does not realize that canceling the oil pipeline and canceling, he canceled the oil XL pipeline. He also made it illegal for us to export natural gas. We have the most natural gas of any country in the world. Why are we not selling our own resources? Why are we cutting off our revenue stream, basically? Because if we have more oil in Anwar than Saudi Arabia, and we have the ability to buy oil from Canada, which is our neighbor, instead of OPEC, why are we not doing that? And these EV mandates, they need to go away. You know, if people want to buy EVs, they should be able to choose EVs, but we should not be forced to buy a particular type of vehicle. It should be a choice. And I watched a video this morning. I watched Casey Liddell. He owns Cascade Heavy Rescue in Oregon, and he had to tow a Tesla. And because of the way it's built, he could not tow it. He had to take and put a strap under it around the axle and pull it, because he said if he picked up on the back of it because it was stuck in a snowbank, he said the way it's built, when I pull it out, he said if I hit anything, he said the whole front end will come off of the car. He said, and he said the ruts in the road from the snow were iced over. He said, he told the guy, if you hit any of those ruts that are iced over and it cracks the battery case, he said, you're looking at $20,000 to $25,000 to repair it. And I knew that repairs on a Tesla were expensive, but I didn't realize just the battery case was 25 grand. But we're getting off topic. Yeah, there's been two rumors on who's running the country. One that has come out over late summer is that Joe Biden has been running the country, because they showed several pictures on Air Force One of her with the binder for the cabinet meeting, and she was the one going over um, the itinerary, and that it's been well known for like 2 years that Biden's aides completely walled him off from anyone but them and Jill. No one else was allowed to even talk to him. And if they did talk to him, the aides would run in and say, sorry, bye, you got to go. And there's a Democratic fundraiser. Her name is Lindy Lee. She raised hundreds of millions of dollars for Kamala Harris. When she saw that in 3 months that Kamala Harris spent $2.5 billion with a B, she asked where the money went. Because in 3 months' time, they spent $2.5 billion and were $20 million in the negative. Yeah. She announced on Friday that she's leaving the Democratic Party because she said when she went through the financial report, they were paying for low-level staffers to stay in 5-star hotels. And she simply asked why they were paying for the low-level staffers to pay in 5-star hotels. She was cussed out. She was called the W word, starts with W and ends in E. She was called the C word. And she said, I raised hundreds of millions of dollars. My donors have the right to know what this money was spent on, and you don't have the right to cuss me out and call me names because I asked for accountability. You spent $2.5 billion in 3 months and you lost. She said, my donors have the right to know where their money was spent. I felt really bad for her because she's a nice lady. You know, even though her politics and mine are different, she's not one of the Looney Tunes, if you know what I mean. She just wanted to know where her donors' money was spent at, how it was spent. And when she saw that they were paying for 5-star hotels for staffers, she questioned why they did that, which is reasonable. She also said that the Call Me Daddy website, that interview that Kamala did, She said they charged Kamala $100,000 to build the set. She said Oprah charged Kamala $1 million. Beyonce charged $1 million. She said Beyonce was supposed to give a concert. She said instead, Beyonce charged her $1 million and then went on and said, basically support Kamala, and then walked off stage, was there 5 minutes. She said, and my donors are angry and they have every right to be, which I understand her being upset. You don't need to call her names because she's asking for accountability. That's just not right. It's just not right that just because Lindy asked for accountability, that she was cussed out and called names. She did a lot. She raised a lot of money. She was good at it. And she announced Friday that she was leaving the Democratic Party. And she did not say where she was going, but our side would be good to go and pull her in because she's good at raising money. At least I think so. We pulled in other prominent Democrats. You know, I feel that gone are the days of, big me, little you. It should be, okay, we want our country to be great again. We want ideas from everybody and, push the establishment types and the neocons out. Let them go form their own party. Right. No more special contracts for her donors. It's just, sad the way politics have become. When I was a kid, I'm 65 years old. When I was a kid, Democrats were the party of the working man. Today, Democrats seem like they hate the working man. Their party platform was to raise taxes on businesses to 70%. Every big business in this country would leave if we raised their tax rate to 70%. We were the highest tax rate in the world at 26%. Everywhere else in Europe is 15%. I think that we should set our tax rate for businesses at 15% because that's what it is everywhere else in the world. Take out the incentive for our businesses to go overseas for less taxes. Because, if we raise taxes on businesses, that will incentivize them to leave and go elsewhere. We really need to think more about incentives for making our businesses stay put. Because, we cannot afford to have our businesses go to Europe for a 15% tax rate when, ours was 21, Biden raised it to 26, Kamala was saying it should be 70. It's like, the hell is wrong with her? I do believe that Biden and Kamala wanted to completely destroy this country and make it so that China could buy our country, which would be the end of America. You know, we have freedoms that nobody else in the world has. You know, I was talking to one of my friends over the weekend, and do you realize that in the United Kingdom right now, if you get caught just looking at propaganda, it's a 5-year prison sentence for just looking at propaganda? You know, I told them, you know, free speech is dead in England right now, because if you can get put in jail for just looking at propaganda, then you are stifling the public's ability to speak out. At least that's the way I look at it. And we should really, you know, start thinking more of protecting our freedoms, you know, and getting um, other leaders around the world to offer more freedoms. I have to do a stream on Justin Trudeau. I did one about a week ago, and this guy that's running against Trudeau, his name is Oliver. I have trouble when they swap. It's spelled P-O-L-I, wait a minute, P-O-L-L-I-V-R-E, but the V and the R, when you pronounce it, are reversed. Polarive, would that be? Anyhow, he wants more freedoms for the Canadian people. And, you know, there was talk of us making Canada a 51st state, which I don't see that ever happening. But it was kind of funny, you know, that came out because Trump was trolling Trudeau. And it got a reaction because the next day, Trudeau was at Mar-a-Lago. But it's interesting to see, you know, how having a strong president changes the worldview of America. You know, Trump, the next day after he was elected, he called the leader of Hamas and he told them, you have until January 20th to release all the hostages or you will have hell to pay. And he hung up. You know, he means what he says on stuff like that because he loves America and he loves Americans. Yeah, Bill Gates is a snake in the grass. Bill Gates is the one that's been going around buying up farmland and then, you know, raising cattle and selling them overseas instead of selling them to us. You know, that's just, I don't think that's right that one person like Bill Gates should be going around buying up farms and then telling the farmers what they can raise. That's just, that just does not seem right. Doesn't seem right at all. And Vivek, when he did his diatribe against American parents, I feel that he deep sixed whatever political ambitions he had, because now he's considered anti-American. There was an entire meltdown on X over the weekend because he said that American parents are satisfied, or no, not satisfied. He said they're happy that their children are mediocre. And he trashed shows like Saved by the Bell and, you know, Different Strokes and, no, not Different Strokes, Family Matters. Said that we should not allow our kids to watch TV. That because we don't value mathematics and making sure our kids get the best possible grade. It was really awful, the things he said. It was 1,000 words. I did a stream on it. The stream is titled Vivek Ramaswamy. You know, you can't take in, yes, we have fat kids, but that's not what he was talking about. He was talking about that we should, our tech companies should only hire kids from India because our children are mediocre and that they don't do well in tech type industries, which is BS. You know, not every child is a nerd. You can't expect every child to be a nerd and expect them to grow up and be happy. Right. They do play video games, not to study. And he was trashing parents for allowing their kids to play video games, watch TV, that we should be taking TV and video games away from our children. And that is not going to fix the problem. Fixing the problem means fixing the education system in this country. You know, getting rid of that stupid core math. Core math is the biggest cluster I've ever seen. When I lived in Illinois in 2016, they posted on Facebook a math, right? TV became the babysitter. They posted the Common Core math. Well, I'm going to get off of here and I will see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys.